Hello everyone out there in tax land, and the tax man here. Listen, taxes don't have to be hard. Here we take complex tax subjects and we make them easy because we want everyone to understand, to benefit, and to save money. And today I'm going to be talking all about head of household filing status. This is a filing status that can give tremendous tax breaks, larger credits, and can be a wonderful addition to your tax return if you qualify. By the end of the video today, you will know 100% if you qualify or not. Stay tuned. First, let's talk about the tax benefits of head of household status. First, and most important, you get a 50% larger standard deduction. I'm talking $12,400 if you're just a single filer, expanding to $18,650 if you are a head of household. So a very nice tax benefit there. You also get wider tax brackets, meaning that more of your income is taxed at lower rates. And both of these two benefits apply whether you have a Social Security number or an ITIN. So it's a great benefit for every American taxpayer. Head of household filing status also makes it easier to qualify for some tax credits. And if you have a Social Security number, it also raises the income limit to qualify for stimulus payments. Let me give you an example. If you are a single filer, the income limit for a full stimulus payment is $75,000 for the year. If you're head of household, it raises to $112,500. So if you qualify, head of household status is by far the best filing status you can choose on your tax return. So how does one qualify for head of household filing status? Well, in general, this filing status is for single parents, but there's a lot of exceptions to it. The three basic requirements are this. First, you need to be legally single. Second, you need to pay more than half of the household support for a qualifying dependent. And third, that dependent needs to live with you for over half of the year. First, let's talk about what it means to be legally single. Legally single is either unmarried, divorced, legally separated, or married, but you lived apart from your spouse for the last 6 months of the year and you're not filing joint tax return with them. And that separation for the last 6 months can't be for something temporary, like for school, for medical care, business, military service. It's got to be a for real separation. You're also considered legally single if your spouse is a non-resident alien. Next, you got to have a qualifying dependent in your household. And that dependent has got to be either your child, stepchild, adopted child, foster child, grandchild, or one of your siblings. They've got to be 18 years or younger, or they can be 24 and younger as long as they're a full-time student and made less than $5,000. And while we primarily think of head of household status for those parents with kids, you can also claim as a qualifying dependent your own parent as long as you pay more than 50% of their upkeep. And if we're talking about claiming a parent as a qualifying dependent for head of household status, that parent can either live with you, live at their own place, or living in a nursing home. And once again, as long as you're paying more than 50% of their upkeep, you can still count them as a qualifying dependent for head of household filing status. All right, we've covered legally single, we've covered qualifying dependent. Now let's talk more about what it means to pay more than 50% of the household expenses for your qualifying dependent. When we're talking about these expenses, we're talking about basic living expenses that really count. Things like rent, mortgage, utilities, groceries, repairs and maintenance. And we're not talking about things like clothing, vacations, schooling, transportation, medical treatment. We're talking about, once again, those basic life necessity type expenses. And if you're the one signing those checks and you've got a dependent child living with you for over half of the year, or if you're signing the checks that cover over half of the support of a parent, then you're going to meet this requirement. So there you have it, the basics of qualifying for head of household filing status. This status, once again, can provide a lot of tax benefits, help reduce your tax bill, so I want to make sure that you're claiming it if you qualify. And if you need to file a tax return or have years of unfiled returns, or if you owe the IRS back taxes and need help getting into a resolution, that is our specialty, and I want you to give me and my team a call at Community Tax. Phone number 800-424-8332. O, si prefiere español, 888-523-6606. Hey, I hope you like this video. If you want to stay up to date on all the latest tax news and information, make sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, maybe even hit that little bell so that you get notified every time that there's a new video. I am Dan, the tax man, tax professional with Community Tax, and I will see you next time.